Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way. The police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way.
The entire building has just collapsed, as if a demolition team set off. When you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself, and it is not there anymore.
That should be it.
Thanks very much. It has completely collapsed.
The whole side has collapsed?
The whole building has collapsed.
The whole building has collapsed?
The building has collapsed.
That's the southern tower you're talking about.
Exactly. The second building that we witnessed the airplane enter had been, the top half had been as if a demolition team set off. When you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself, and it is, when you see the old demolitions of these old buildings, it folded down on itself, and it is not there anymore.
Ultimate blast. In each case, you can't even describe it physically because it was too big, too chaotic. It was a cataclysmic release, and it released back into the city in 10 seconds in each case.
Have very high rates of heat release, which, in this case, burned for a sustained period of time over a very large area.
Everything was vaporized, everything, and unfortunately, so were
very high rates of heat release, which, in this case, burned for a sustained period of time over a very large area.
Everything was vaporized, everything, and unfortunately, so were
very high rates of heat release, which, in this case, burned for a sustained period of time over a very large area.
Everything was vaporized, everything, and unfortunately, so were
When you think that part of the component of news coverage around the country every year is the excitement and the fun that people get watching an old building being demolished, and they wire it very carefully for days, and it's a very careful operation in order to make sure that a building comes down safely. I think the last one we saw was when they brought down one of the old casinos in Las Vegas. I mean, this is just stunning to see these things come down.
And then late afternoon, 5 p.m., still another building collapses. 7 World Trade Center.
They did, and then moments after Vince and his crew left the scene, this happened.
The collapse of World Trade Center number 7.
We're looking at the tape now, Jeff.
Okay, good. This once again happened only within the last few minutes. We saw one of those smaller buildings just fall to the ground. We had heard earlier that it was structurally unsafe, that the buildings surrounding the Twin Towers had not been safe.
The adjoining 7 World Trade Center crumbled. Thousands injured. A death toll Mayor
attacks, at least these 2 that were carried out, and obviously connected then, therefore, to the 4 others. Right now, law enforcement sources are saying they are almost 99% certain, is what I'm being told, that Osama bin Laden is behind this. And in addition, obviously, to the cell phone calls, which is much more hard evidence compared to other things that they were getting earlier, they are still looking at all the warning signs. This is the only man who had the financial backing. This is the only man who had the infrastructure where the World Wide Web, the tentacles really all over the world to be able to carry out this. And they also say it would have taken at least many months to plan this type of thing.
we were watching the building actually because it was on fire. The bottom floors of the building were on fire, and you know, we heard this sound that sounded like a clap of thunder. Turned around, we were shocked to see that the building was, well, it looked like there was a shock wave ripping through the building, and the windows all